Hi, guys. It is a wonderful, beautiful day to be with you, to give God thanks, to give Him praise, to give Him glory, and to give Him honor. Guys, guess what? I have a slight change in the format that you are accustomed to. Guess what, guys? I have with me Dr. Felicia Dennis. And if it is please her, I am going to ask her to introduce herself, then walk us through a little of the journey that brought her this far. Dr. Dennis, take it over.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Felicia O A Dennis, and I am a native here from York City. We're located here in York, Pennsylvania, um, and I come from a large family. Dr. Felicia O A Dennis, and I am a native right here from York City, and we are located in York, Pennsylvania. I come from a family of 16 children. My late parents is Catherine W. Dennis Holmes and Furman Dennis Jr. Uh, Senior. Furman Dennis Senior. Also, my background is I come from a family that has been in church my whole life. I probably was born on a pew almost. But that's my background as far as spiritual background. I've been in ministry since I was a youth myself. Um, I am part of the Fairview Full Gospel Missionary Baptist Church, which is also located right here in the city of York on South Pine Street, 465 South Pine Street, as a matter of fact. Also, I have experience before going into youth ministry. I went through the foster care system. So, this is what kind of leads me into my journey. But just to kind of give you a little bit more background, came from the foster care system, continued in ministry. I was in ministry before, but my godmother, which is Rebecca Jameson, one day said to me, "We're gonna have you speak," and I became nervous. And from that moment, I've been in ministry, and I was probably around 12 years old at that time. Became a youth leader. From youth leader, became youth minister. I have served on the national board, international levels, uh, and that's ministry. But if I give you a little bit of history concerning my professional background, I've worked with York City School District 2 years after I graduated. So not only did I graduate from there, but I was a returning alumni that went back to work right in the school district of the city of York. Not only did I do that, but while I was working at the school district of the city of York, I also went into a program called AmeriCorps, and I believe that's where I began to want to get more involved in what was going on in the city. About that time, I was probably about 19, 20 years old when I got involved right at the South George Street Community Partnership. I was under the direction of Pastor James Smith, which used to live here in York but is no longer here. And also, I served under, which was our former mayor, Mayor Kim Bracey, and then also Samantha Dorn, which she is also known for one of the best grant writers in Pennsylvania and abroad. So these are the different people that I kind of served under. I also went from working with the school district to with South George Street Community Partnership as AmeriCorps, then as a downtown ambassador. So I began to work downtown York as an ambassador. I would go in and out of the small businesses that was downtown to check on them to make sure that everything was okay, whether it was their customers were coming in and everything was okay with that, or if they had a situation or a problem, we worked closely as downtown ambassadors with the York City Police. Uh, from there, I then continued working with the school district. And then, because of my background of being in foster care and just going through different things in my life, could have been a statistic, but because of the grace of God and me just keep moving forward and the family members that I had surrounding me, I was able to beat that on. So I did not become a statistic. So that's one thing that I want to highlight. I should have became one, but I did not. Coming from that, as I was a downtown ambassador, moving into working with children that were troubled youth for the youth advocate program. So I was juggling different jobs as I do right now. So I was working with York City School District. I was a downtown ambassador, and I was working also part time with the youth advocate program. From there, I did that for many years, and then back in 2015, shortly after my mother had passed away, I had taken a job that took me across seas to Italy, which I worked for the federal government and the military, closely with Coast Guard. Can't really get into the detail of what I did, but just know that I helped to serve our country. And I lived in the country of Italy almost 2 years until I came home with an injury. Now that I'm back, came back, ended up back at my church home, or my family's church home, which was Fairview Full Gospel Missionary Baptist Church, which I was birthed up in and came out of, and serve as youth pastor there. Also, help with different things as far as serving our overseer, which is Robert Jameson, Senior. And then also from there, I went back to the York City School District. Okay, y'all. So I didn't have a lot of jobs, but I was able to return back to jobs. You know, my mother always told me, be careful with bridges you burn because you might have to go back to them. So I ended up going back to the York City School District. I am currently a employee there working for safety and security under the direction of Mr. Quinn Johnson, and our former chief was our commissioner of the city. Currently, right now, for New York City Police, Chief Mardrow was our chief at the time that I was brought back, but now he is doing bigger things. He is the commissioner for our police department. Then also, when I went back to the school district, I was able to also return back to youth advocate for a short period of time. Once I was with youth advocate and back with the New York City School District, I was just praying about what to do next. I was also in school accomplishing my theology degrees. I went for my bachelor's degree and so on up into my doctor's degree. So that's what I have my doctor's degree in. I am a doctor of theology. So from there, I end up back full time with the school district, and I had to make a decision because another opportunity had come open to me, and that was to become an ecosystem coordinator with the city of York under Mayor Michael Helfrich. So currently now I am an employee with the York City School District and also an employee with the city of York. And I deal with our community on a daily basis. And everything that I do, I must make this clear, everything that I do to me is ministry. I don't do anything without praying and asking God for direction on what direction to go and what to do from what He tells me to do at that point. So, yes, currently I am, working with our troubled youth, whether they are in the schools, in our community, or sometime within our churches. So that's a little bit about me and what has brought me to this current journey.
Okay, Dr. Dennis, I see you do a whole lot there. Oh my God, God gave you this strength, man. That's why we
Amen.
have to count on God.
Yes.
But Dr. Dennis, you are a female, a person of color. What inspired you in inclinate for political office?
Well, just to answer that question, I was inspired by a lot of individuals. I must say, one individual, God rest her soul, was my mother. You know, just watching her footsteps and watching her go through different situations in life. Not only that, I mentioned my godmother. I know they're not in political positions, but they are in the church. So they inspired me to want to be a better person as a black female woman, and then to also move forward into, now that I am a black female woman, being able to go into a elective position. Not only that, I mentioned I mentioned some individuals that have paved the way right here in the city of York. And there's some other ones that I know in different states, but I did mention like individuals like uh, the former mayor, Kim Bracy. I was under her leadership at one point working for her. So when I actually seen her be able to accomplish going from my supervisor from South Georgia Community Partnership and worked her way to becoming our mayor. First, well, she was one of our female black mayors here. That inspired me. So way back then, I started saying that I was going to become the mayor of the city, and it became a joke to a lot of people. But really, in my heart and what God showed me, I really seen that. So this is one of the steps that I have to take. To be able to one day accomplish what God has shown me, the vision that He has shown me for my future. Not only that, I know um, a few of the other African American black women that sits on city council. Judy Ritter Dixon, I know her personally. I know Sandy Walker, and I know Edwina Washington. So when I look at women like that, and I can see that one is my peer, another one is a little older than us, and then Judy Ritter Dixon is one of our elders. So when I look at that, and when I can see my peer, and I can see the next generation above me, and then I see my elder, that's what inspires me to want to take an elective seat. And not only that, I believe that God is in control, and I just believe this is my appointed season to be able to move into a political elective seat at this time.
Okay, Dr. Dennis, were there any negative consideration that you have had to overcome?
Of course, just to answer that question, not to go into no detail, um, when you're going into positions like this or just trying to move forward in life, in your journey to accomplish great things, there's always going to be obstacles. So when obstacles come, just my background being into ministry and things like that, the preacher said this morning, if the devil is not messing with you, then you need to check yourself and see whose side you're working on. So when that stuff happens, what we try to do, or what I try to do, I stay focused. I don't give energy to the confrontations or nonsense that will come, and I keep moving forward towards my destiny and what God has given me to do as an individual and resident of our community.
Dr. Dennis, obviously, there were times when you doubted whether you are doing the right thing. What would you say strengthened you?
At times when I'm wondering if I'm doing the right thing, one of the things for sure that strengthens me is being able to help the youth within our community, especially with knowing that we are in a poverty community where the young people and families really don't have much. That's what strengthens me concerning my journey.
And motivates you?
What motivates me? What
Mm-hmm.
motivates me the most is when I'm able to help a young person that's in need, whether it's talking, whether it's connecting them to different resources, or being able to connect them to staff members within the school or within church or community. That's what motivates me to keep going.
Keeps you focused in times like these? What keep you focused in times like these?
What keeps me focused in times like this is being a believer and depending solely on God, my creator. Also, what keeps me focused is when I see a great impact happening within the York City community. So that keeps me focused the most, um, and constantly just working with the residents and family.
Okay, Dr. Dennis. Our communities have many urgent needs. Which of these would you prioritize as your first and second object?
My first would be education. And that I choose that to be my first because I work within the school district of the city of York. And I'm not a person that's on the outside looking in, but I'm on the inside looking. So I would say my first would be education, to make sure that the York City School District be able to get the proper education that is deserved to our youth of our community.
And second,
Second would be youth programming. And once again, being on the inside looking, there's a lot of youth programming that has been taken out of our schools. So when that takes place, the kids have nothing to do after school. So of course they're going to find different things that might lead to negativity or fighting or maybe even homicides. Programming is very important to me, to be able to maybe get on that committee, to be able to help with the city connection with the district, to try to figure out a way how we can begin to fundraise, to figure out what we can do to bring those programming back.
okay. Dr. Dennis, what word of hope, encouragement, or motivation would you give to young persons attempting to overcome similar challenges as you have had coming this far?
Well, I would tell every young person to remain focused. And the way that I had to do that, it wasn't easy, let me say that. But I had a lot of great people around me that is still currently around me. Some are currently around and some are not, but in order to stay focused, I was able to get involved at a young age in martial arts. And I was able to start training with the late Gary Hopkins, and Joe Hopkins is still living. But Bobby Addison was another person. He's also deceased and passed on. But these were some great individuals that would have me training almost every day. And that was a way of me to refocus. When I wanted to act out and wanted to do the wrong things, I had to remember that one, I had family members that was checking me on a regular basis. When I wanted to get involved and go out, smoke weed, drink, and do different things, they were checking me. It's true when they say it takes a village to raise children. But in this day and time, it's kind of a little hard to do that because we're dealing with a whole nother generation. However, this is why I am a black young woman that is an entrepreneur and that have my own business to this day. I was able to remain focused. I stayed humble. And because of that, I now am the owner of Felicia's Taekwondo right here in the city of York. And I have given back years and years and years of free training to our community and to the adults. So I'm sure that I have probably taught over hundreds of people. There's people that currently come up to me on the street and say that, oh, you taught my son or you taught me. But like I said, I'm turning 41 this week. And sometimes you tend to forget who you taught. But I love what I do. The martial arts has been a great deal of what got me to this journey. That's number two, because as I said, I am a believer and I solely believe that God first has brought me to this journey. And then third, my family members that have been there through thick and thin, no matter if I was doing the right thing or if I wasn't, they always seemingly still love me, whether it was a rough situation that I didn't agree with them or if it was. I'm here today and I'm running for this elective office, which is for York City Council. And I encourage every single person that is registered to vote to please get out on May 18th. The polls open at 7 a.m. and you can vote all day. But I encourage you to please do so because remember, please vote. I think we're out of time for registering to do so. However, for the primaries, if you have registered, please get out on May 18th, starting at 7 a.m. and let's vote. Hi, my name is Dr. Felicia O A Dennis, and I am running for York City Council. On May 18th, starting at 7 a.m., you can go to the polls and vote. If you are a Democrat, you can vote me in. If you are a Republican, you can write my name in as Dr. Felicia O A Dennis. York City, stand up. York City, stand up. York City, stand up with boots on the ground. See you then.
Okay, Dr. Dennis, it
Yes.
was a pleasure having you with me to take the time out of your busy schedule. I know it's a busy time for you to be with me and to talk to the people of York,
Yes.
to let them know who you are and everything like that. I wish you all the best in your endeavor and going forward in your life.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show. And I look forward to coming back maybe in the future once we have the victory.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank
Dennis.
you.
It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Yes, ma'am.